Welcome to the Call to Action podcast with Nicole Magic, where conscious awakened leaders listen and action takers are rewarded. Join us for the insightful wisdom of today's special guest with an irresistible offer. Hello, everybody out there. This is Nicole Magic with the Call to Action podcast, where professional service providers and strategists share their wisdom. It's 5 questions, less than 10 minutes. And because we value everyone's time and energy, let's get started. Dr. Serena, question number 1. In a few sentences, tell us who you are and what you do, because you're amazing.
Right. Thank you. All right, so hi everyone. My name is Dr. Serena Goldstein. I am a naturopathic doctor. So in addition to my education being primary care, conventional, and all natural medicine, I decided to take it all a step further and incorporate spirituality. So this is where I get to see your symptoms, like literally whatever they may be. And we go through everything from what's happening physically to then even saying, hey, what's your intuition telling you? And maybe those symptoms are actually clues for something on a much deeper level. So we get into all of that too.
Oh my God. And gosh, when we have you back, we need to get into some of this in way more depth, because my bout with mercury poisoning and near death because of it, that's a huge thing. And I know that you and I have a lot of synergy with all of that. So that's another day. So if anybody wants to hear more about that, comment. Question number 2. What wisdom, because you have a lot, what little nugget of wisdom do you want to share with us today?
One of my favorite questions to ask myself, if you ever feel like you're not sure of what to do, if something doesn't seem right, or maybe you're questioning yourself, or I would say one of my favorites, quote unquote, is beating up yourself. Because, oh man, is that so easy to do? And it's sometimes amazing how we talk to ourselves, just putting that out there. So my favorite question to ask is, what would you say to yourself without judgment? Because the truth is, spirit, the universe, there literally is no judgment. Our constructs of good or bad, right, wrong is just us. That's the ego. The ego's 3D, it has to belong. So by asking that question, we can kind of tell our ego, like, oh, I get there's lots of emotion, but we can bring it down a notch. So not just, of course, always breathing, but really being able to look at the scenario, knowing judgment is literally just in our head, and moving forward.
That's awesome. Very good tidbit of information, because knowing yourself alleviates that judgment, right, of yourself and others. And that's what I love. Like, you and I could get into these conversations that go so deep. Oh my gosh. But again, this is a quick overview, so we're going to save that for another day. And tell me, number 3, what other top service providers and strategists that you know who are successful like yourself would you like to give a shout out to?
Course. So the first person that's coming to mind was a mentor of mine. Her name is Dr. Donnie Wilson. And of course, in addition to being a naturopathic doctor, she has rebranded, just like all these types of transformations, all this keeping up with everything. And she's very much like the doctor speaker. She's really built out her brand, her just who she is. And I remember just always gravitating to her. So that's, I will say, then being on her podcast earlier this year was like oh my God, I'm making it in the world. And then on other notes, as we do evolve, like I remember in our conversation, you had said something, and that was many months ago, that I still have with me today. So I think we'll have the mentors, and then we'll have people who continue, hopefully, continue to cross our paths. But I think there's so much to be gained from many different people in the world.
She sounds like a very wonderful person to know. And it sounds like your paths were absolutely meant to cross for many, many different reasons. Some that you know, some that you don't even know yet. So that.
Perhaps. Yeah. Good point.
And that's when we grow and we evolve and we see, oh my goodness, this runs so much deeper, right? Question number 4, Dr. Serena, what obstacle became your greatest opportunity?
Oh my God. So this is gonna get a bit personal. I would say it was, it's one example. I have like these 2 events. One kind of stood out for a second. The next, but really the biggest one, I would say, is where I'm at now. As at a longer time, I'll certainly share the part 2 or this pre-part. But the biggest turning point was 2 years ago when I discovered that we had a soul. I was raised very 3D, just think Upper East Side, private school, New York City, that whole thing. And a few years ago, when I found out that we were put on this earth, not just to, I say not just to please other people, but we all have a divine purpose. It's really up to no one else. It was like my whole world felt like I was living a lie in wondering and the way I was moving about. And it gave me such a sense of self-worth that it was like, how do I bring this into medicine? How do I how do I tell people that they're worthy of healing, that they can heal, that their body's capable, even if it's not in this moment? So this is the rebrand that you see now. My specialty is bringing spirituality into medicine. My logo is the Phoenix Rising. The colors are actually part inspired by the different chakras. So like red, you'll see as the bottom as the root, the top, being the third eye and the third eye in the crown. So to where I am now, which also included a move all the way across the coast, that just finding out that piece of information to bring more of our self-worth into the world was, I'm still reeling sometimes.
I bet. I mean, that is a huge, huge shift. And to have all of I like imagining all of those feelings, we'll have to talk about that too, like separately in our own conversation first, because
Yeah.
there's some similarities with what I went through after a near-death experience and everything shifting and questioning, like, who have I been and who am I now and who will I be, kind of thing. So I bet you we have some good stuff on that. So,
Oh yes.
oh, that's awesome. But for now, for our audience that's listening today, tomorrow, and next week, what do you have? What is your irresistible call to action for our action takers today, Dr. Serena?
So that irresistible offer is my free gift to you. So it's a complimentary PDF that talks all about what it means to decoding your symptoms on a deeper level. So this will help prompt that, oh, what if I'm not able to continue an action or a supplement? Like, let's actually dive a little deeper. So I have some of those questions that may prompt some stuff in there. And then when it comes to our physical symptoms, taking a look into, let's say, the spiritual cause of disease, what it means on different sides of the body. And I even have a bonus tip in there as well that does talk a bit about chakras. So yeah, this is all to help you better understand your body while, of course, incorporating the physical side as well.
Oh, that sounds amazing. I can't wait to see that. And that's going to be in the description. So for everybody listening, tell us your website.
All right. It is drserenagoldstein.com.
drserenagoldstein.com. That will be in the description too. So you can just click the link and go right there like teleportation. So for everybody that's listening, it's It's all there. Don't forget to listen to the next episode of the Call to Action podcast, where conscious awakened leaders listen and action takers get rewarded. Thank you so much, Dr. Serena, for being here today. And, we'd love all of you out in the audience. We'd love to hear your favorite takeaway from this and what you want to hear next. So leave a comment, and thank you so much for listening. I'm Nicole Magic. Have a spectacular day. Goodbye, everyone, and thank you for listening. I hope you found today's episode insightful and invaluable to elevating your own business.